Hi, Professor. I believe I'm going to have to send you a YouTube video and provide you with the information that I discovered on the buckle and the Lindau Gospel. The back of the Lindau Gospel. Moving on to slide 2. The timeline for Germanic art in medieval times when you're looking at when these were created. So 7th century CE is when the belt buckle was created. The back cover of the Lindau Gospel was created in 870 CE. Archaeologists discovered these works of art, for the belt buckle in 1939. And in 2020, we are now educating the curious mind. Moving on to the next slide, it gives you the details of the buckle from Sutton Hoo. Now, these buckles were buried with their chieftains in these 89-foot boats. So when you think about a football field, it is much larger than your average 6-foot box that people are buried in today. This was a huge boat filled with treasures and ornaments and jewelry and small lyres, weapons, you name it. They were buried with the most expensive items. Rather than handing it off to a beneficiary and letting it carry on to the next generation, it was buried with their chiefs. So looking at this buckle, it reminds me of the Celtic knot. So when you move your hands and intertwine them together, this is what the gold is doing. It is a solid 5-pound gold belt buckle that has what reminds me of almost like two eyes and a mouth on this belt buckle, but instead they are golden beads that are inlaid into this belt buckle. So throughout the entire belt buckle, when you think about it being on your hand, it's got the two weave-in parts and then a circle inside. All of this has that Celtic looking knot inside of there. And when you're looking at the Celtic knot throughout the entire thing, you are seeing that there's this niello, is what they called, which is basically a black sulfurous substance that they use as a decorative inlay to create the details on this belt buckle. These were not created lightly. When you think about the items and the tools that they had to create this, it wasn't a 3D printer. It was something that had to be done by hand, which was absolutely amazing to me. When you're looking at the back of the Lindau Gospels, the back of the Lindau Gospel has a beautiful inlay of all this jewelry, and the amount of jewelry that is on there could probably pay my mortgage for a good 6 months, if not the entire year. Actually, I bet you it could pay my house off for the price of the back of the Lindau Gospel, which might be sacrilegious when I'm thinking about it. But anyways, this medieval book is absolutely beautiful, and the amount of jewels that are inlaid in this are emeralds and pearls and rubies, and everything is golden inlaid, and you've got the sign of the cross in each corner for each cross, and all the way up and all the way down across has got a jewelry for every single point. Now, looking at the detail on each corner of the cross, and in the middle of it, it almost looks like a butterfly. So when you look at it from far away, the first thing I seen was the butterfly. Really, if it's the back of a gospel book, it's probably more of a cross. However, in each corner of these butterfly wings, so to speak, or on the outside of the cross, it has this beautiful amount of detail of these people and what looks like almost angels in the back of this book. These had to have taken years to create. Again, thinking about back in that time, 870 BC or CE, they did not have a 3D printer or something that they could just create right off the top. They had to do this all by hand. The amount of work that was put into this is absolutely astronomical. In comparison, moving on to the final slide, with each other, when I'm looking at both of them, they almost have a similar look because they've got that Celtic looking knot amongst them both, and the amount of detail in each of them is really beautiful. Like, I can't say enough about this. I would have loved to meet the people that created these beautiful works of art. The amount of precious stone on this book, that's your normal 13 by 10, which I think is a normal piece of paper. We're paperless now, so I don't quite remember. It's something that you don't quite put into your brain. But the amount of work they had to do and pour it over a molten colored glass is beautiful to think about. The amount of detail that this belt buckle took to be buried with somebody blows me away. I would want something that beautiful to be passed on to my son or my daughter or my granddaughter and so forth. This is not something that I would want to be kept with me when I die, because you can't take it with you. You might as well give it to somebody else. Thank you for watching my video. I hope you enjoyed my PowerPoint slideshow, and let me know if you have any questions. Have a good day.